Hello everyone, my name is Lara and welcome to a day in my life as a graduate civil engineer. So I'm straight up and out the door in the mornings and on my way to work after picking up a colleague. I work at Alderney Water Treatment Works down in Bournemouth, which is a clean water site aiming to improve both the quality and quantity of water supplied to the area. So once I've arrived and for some reason it looks like I decided to wear my pyjamas to work today, I turned my laptop on, checked my emails and put my PPE on before the daily site briefing at 7:30. I also use this time to write any permits that will be needed for the day, make sure all the correct documents are in the work packs for each work area, and this helps with avoiding any delays in getting going in the morning. I then headed downstairs to the morning briefing, which is where the foreman on site go over what works all the subcontractors will be doing for the day, any hazards that they might face, any deliveries we're expecting, and any visitors we might have for the day. After that, I headed back up to my desk to gather the setting out information and check the design levels for some low voltage ducting I needed to set out on site for one of the work areas. I then finished putting the rest of my PPE on, making sure I had my radio with me, and I headed out onto site. This is me now walking through the site entrance, through the walkways and heading up to the roof of one of our tanks to check it's all ready for a water test to make sure there isn't any water leaking into the building, as all the buildings on site need to be water site, as it is a clean water site. I then set up the laser level for the work area, which lets the operatives check the level of their excavation for the ducting they needed to install, as they tend to dig without me being there all day, and it lets them progress. I then used the receiver with the laser level to check that I'd set it all up correctly and that they had all the levels they needed to for the day. After that, it was somehow already morning break time, so I headed back up to the office, to the kitchen, and had a little debrief with one of my colleagues on how things were progressing on site so far and how to resolve a minor issue we were having. Today's breakfast for me was quite bland, to be honest. I think I had sourdough toast with butter, and of course it wouldn't be a morning for me without going to the coffee machine and grabbing a coffee. And as tax for helping me film, one of the other graduates on site, Felix, managed to convince me to make one for him as well. I think it's safe to say he was satisfied by my coffee making skills, or at least that of the coffee machine, which he doesn't tend to use, and a little cheers to go with it. After break, I went to check on the water levels inside our chlorine contact tank using a piezometer, which we were completing a water test to make sure the tank wasn't leaking and that the tank level remained relatively consistent, similar to what I did this morning with the roof test. Don't worry though, the hatch was covered with a grate inside, so I was not getting soaked today. Somehow it was already 1 p.m, which meant it was lunchtime. I think today I made a chicken wrap and carried on reading the Boys of Tom End series, which I highly recommend, and thank you so much to TikTok for the suggestion. I had a little catch up with the other engineers in the team, rambling about what happened over the weekend and any other bits and bobs that came up. Following this, I set up the total station and did a survey on the ducts that had been installed, checking the line and level were correct and taking photos for the quality records. At 2 p.m, it was time to head down to the meeting room for the short interval control meeting, which is where we look at the 12-week look ahead programme and readjust the dates of activities if needed. But having it visually on the wall in the meeting room is a great reference point. And then headed to the laydown area to check for materials, and then ordered anything outstanding that we needed before heading into the 4 p.m. daily debrief meeting to go over what we achieved throughout the day and the plan for tomorrow. Around 5:30, I finished for the day and headed to my car to drive home. I quickly got in the house and had some dinner before heading back out around 8 p.m. to let off some steam playing paddle with some work colleagues. Safe to say it was a tight game, but I reckon I was on the winning team just this one time. Then it was time to head home, shower and set my early alarms for the next morning. And this was a typical day in my life. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed.